Good morning, students. Our today's topic is statistics. I know some of you are very new to this word statistics. Let me make you all familiar to this word statistics. Oh my God, I forgot to check whether all my students are present in the class or not. Let me take attendance. Children, all of you answer your attendance when I call your name. Okay? Are you all ready? Kanna, Soni, Nani, Lily, Chintu, Puppy. Wow! All bubbling students are sitting in front of TV screen to watch today's program and actively participate in today's program. I am so lucky to have students like you all. Children, are you all thinking, why is this maths teacher calling us with our nicknames? Answer is simple. As I don't know your actual names and also some thousands of people are watching this program across the state, isn't it? And you know, children, when I called one name Kanna, at least 100 might have answered. That is the power of nickname. And children, our today's topic, statistics too, has nicknames. Would you like to know? Look at this slide, children. The first nickname of statistics is Smart Tables. This is for smart students of 5th class and it is introduced as second chapter in 5th class mathematics textbook where you have learned few basics of statistics. And in 6th and 7th classes, the same topic is named as data handling. And in 8th class, it is named as frequency distribution tables. And when you come to 9th, 10th and the higher classes, you are all grown and statistics has grown and then it is named as usual statistics. I think now you are all clear that you are going to learn something which you know, and this is one of the easiest chapters of mathematics. And you know, children, this is scoring also. Okay, children, when I called you all with your nicknames and also I introduced the nicknames of the statistics, I hope you might be humming Gurtukostunnai, Gurtukostunnai, Yedalotulo, Yemulano, నిదురించు జ్ఞాపకాలు నిద్రలేస్తున్నాయి గుర్తుకొస్తున్నాయి గుర్తుకొస్తున్నాయి. Isn't it, children? At least few of you might be recalling your childhood days and also the concepts of statistics. If I'm not wrong, you might be recalling data and its types, recording and organization of data, preparation of frequency distribution table for the given data, and also representation of data. Students, if you observe these 4 sentences, every sentence has a common word. What is it? It is data, isn't it? It is white in color, data. What is this data? What is the definition of data? We will try to learn or define data. Are you all ready? Yeah, children. Look at this slide, children. Here I collected some information about the different poets of statistics, different poets of different languages. Here you can see Gurram Joshua garu. ఈయన తెలుగు కవి. గబ్బిలాలు, ఫిరదౌసి అని ఎన్నో మంచి కావ్యాలను రచించారు. ఈయనకు కవి కోకిల, నవయుగ కవి అనే బిరుదులు కూడా ఉన్నాయి. If you come to the next one, he is Kabir Das, Hindi poet, great Hindi poet of 15th century. Kabir Das Ji is well known for his dohe. एक दोहा हो जाए चिल्ड्रन, दुख में सुमिरन सब करे, सुख में करे न कोई, जो सुख में सुमिरन करे, दुख काहे को होय. कितना अच्छा दोहा है ना बच्चों? And this is very apt to our present situation. at home whole day we are sitting and praying God to save us from this coronavirus, isn't it? And when we were free, at least once in a day we couldn't pray the God. At least from now we pray the God twice in a day. Okay, children? And next poet, look at this slide. He is great English poet William Shakespeare. He is often called as England's national poet. And here I gathered some information about the different poets of different languages which you have seen. Now let me show you some more information which is in the form of tables. If you look at this first table, it consists of name of the element, symbol of the element and atomic number. See the first element, hydrogen. Hydrogen symbol is H and its atomic number is 1. And I have one more table which is giving us information about ocean, its depth and volume. And here Arctic Ocean, its average depth is given, maximum depth is also given, and also volume of the ocean, isn't it? So this kind of tables you might have seen in newspapers, magazines when you were reading, isn't it, children? So here these tables are the previous information which we have seen about the poets. What is it consisting of? Numbers, letters or words. This information which is in the form of numbers, letters or words is called data. Are you clear, children? Let us see one more information. Here I gathered information about different states and number of corona positive virus. And based on this information, our government takes decision such as continuation of lockdown, how to help the poor and needy people, and many other decisions, isn't it? So this information is helping us to take decision. So finally, we say that data is the information which is in the form of numbers, figures or words which is collected with definite purpose. We have certain purpose to collect the data. With definite purpose we collect and which helps us in taking decision or drawing conclusions also. Are you all clear, children? And you know this data is of two types, and one is primary and secondary. Primary data and secondary data. Yeah, if you look at this slide here, doctor is collecting some blood sample from the patient. Obviously, after the collection of blood sample, what the doctor will do? He will do some investigation, isn't it? And then he will come to know the type of disease which he has to note down in a register, isn't it? And here the investigator himself or herself is collecting information. This kind of information is called primary data. Next type of data, secondary data. Here, if you see the slide, TV reporter, what is he doing? He is giving us information regarding COVID-19, number of corona positive cases, etc. And you know, children, he might have collected this information from hospitals. That means he is collecting information from a source. Okay, so if the information is collected from a source, then the data is called secondary data. I hope you are clear with primary and secondary data. We will see one more example for better understanding of primary and secondary data. Children, when you go to school, yes, when you go to school to take admission, obviously first you go to your principal and from there to the office, isn't it? And in the office, what the office assistant will do? She will check your TC, bona fide, Aadhaar card and other certificates, and she cross checks and notes down that information in the admission register, isn't it? And from there, what actually she is doing here? She is doing some investigation. Yes or no? She is checking all your certificates before she writes in the admission register. Your name, father's name, mother's name and all, isn't it? And from there, after taking admission, you will go to your classroom. And when you go to your classroom, your class teacher also needs your information. And what she will do? She goes to office. And from the office assistant, she collects the information and notes down in the class attendance register. So what is she doing here, class teacher? She is collecting information from the admission register, which is already recorded, means from a source she is collecting. That's why this data collected by the class teacher is secondary data. So children, based on type of collection, data is two types. One is primary and the other one is secondary. I hope you understood primary and secondary data. Are you all? Yes. Yeah. We have seen data and its types. Now, let us try to know something about the statisticians who contributed so much to develop this statistics. If you look at this slide, the first person in the pic is Sir Ronald Almayer Fisher. He is known as father of statistics. And the second person is Dr. C.R. Rao. He is known for his theory of estimation. And you know children, this third person, P.C. Mahalanobis, he is also our Indian statistician and he developed divergence based statistics. And this last pic, this is ISI, Indian Statistical Institute, and the founder of this institute is P.C. Mahalanobis. He developed this institute and he is known as the father of Indian statistics. I hope you got little understanding about the statisticians, isn't it children? Now we will see the history of statistics. And this history in the form of a song, children, in the form of a song. Are you all ready to listen to my song on statistics? I know no one say no to song. Yes? Okay. Hello, hello everyone. I am statistics, a branch of mathematics. Hello, hello everyone. I am statistics, a branch of mathematics. I have been derived from the Latin word status, or the Italian word stata, or the Greek word statistic. I have been derived from the Latin word status, or the Italian word stata, or the Greek word statistic. On the whole, I mean a political status. On the whole, I mean a political status. Hello, hello everyone. I am statistics, a branch of mathematics. I have been. The father of me is Sir Ronald Fisher. The father of me is Sir Ronald Fisher. He developed me to apply in all the fields. The father of me is Sir Ronald Fisher. He developed me to apply in all the fields. Hello, hello everyone. I am statistics, a branch of mathematics. I am useful in collection, classification and interpretation. I am useful in collection, classification and interpretation. Hello, hello everyone. I am statistics, a branch of mathematics. Hello, hello everyone. I am statistics, a branch of mathematics. Clap for yourselves, children, for listening this song. Did you like it? I know. So, children, this word statistics is derived from three different words: status, stata, status, stata, and statistic. So, all these three words are from three different languages. And on the whole, the meaning of statistics is political status. Okay. So far, what we discussed, data and its types, and we have seen the history of statistics in the form of a song, and we have come to know about the statisticians, and we also we have come to know the ISI, about ISI, which is at Kolkata, isn't it? Now let us move on to the next topic. And this next topic also, children, which is nothing but recording and organizing data. The next topic is recording and organizing. Okay, this topic we'll try to understand through a small story. Are you all ready? Yeah. Look at this slide, children. Yeah. This is a recent story, days old story, very recent story, which happened in the lockdown period. Here in the city of Hyderabad, a very small family is there. In that, a husband, a wife, and a son are there. Husband is a bank employee, wife is a maths teacher, and the boy is studying in second class. And one day, wife calls husband. Evandi. Then husband comes slowly and says, "What, dear? Why did you call me? You know, I heard in the news that for few days government is going to close all the shops. Why don't we get provisions required at least for 1 month?" Then husband says, "Okay," and gets pen and paper. And he sits on a chair. Then wife starts telling, and husband notes down all the items required. She tells, okay, sugar, salt, grapes, oranges, mangoes, toothpaste, tooth powder, pain balms, energy drinks, oil, onions, tomatoes, and potatoes, spinach, soaps, washing powder, etc., etc., etc. She dictates all the items that required. So here, what the husband is doing, he is recording all the items required, isn't it? And after recording the observations, noting down the items required, he goes to market. And while leaving, wife calls and says, "My dear husband, don't forget to get anything, huh?" Then husband says, "Okay, I'll try to get all the items." Husband goes to market and gets all the items and comes back home after an hour and keeps all the heavy bags on the table. Wife takes out all the items one at a time from the bag, and she cross-checks with the list. She has given one list now, she cross-checks with the list. But some things are missing. Then she gets anger and calls husband, "Evandi, Evandi." Then her husband comes runningly. What happened? What happened, dear? What makes you to shout? What happened? Then wife says, "I told you not to forget anything. But as usual, you have forgotten some things." Then husband says, "That's all. What's there in that? I'll get tomorrow. What's there?" Then wife becomes very, very angry, and she says, "How can you say like this? It is lockdown period. Whenever we want to go out, we cannot go. You are talking like a small kid. Being a responsible citizen, how can you violate the rules of the government?" Sometime she continuously shouts, and then she compromises and says, "Okay, my dear husband, I'll give you solution to this problem in the evening. And she left the place, and even husband goes away from there. And in the evening, both wife and husband sits on the sofa with hot cup of coffee. And the conversation starts. Wife asks husband, how many items did I ask you to get in the morning? I think more than 50 items. Okay, could you get all those items from the same shop? No, I had to go to different places and get all the items. And meanwhile, I missed some items, and you get angry and you shout at me and you won't understand at all my problem. Then wife says, let me tell you. Can you tell me what are the shops that you had to go? Then husband says, Kirana shop and fruit corner and vegetable corner and medical shop. So these are the 4 places I had to go and get the items, he says. Then wife tells him, see my dear husband, I have given you a huge list of 50 items, right? Now you couldn't get all these items from one place, so you had to go to Kirana shop. So I'm writing here all the items that we can get from Kirana shop, like sugar, salt, soaps, oil, rice, etc. And from medical shop, all the tablets, painkillers, energy drinks, whatever we can get from the medical shop. I made one more list for this. And when you go to fruit corner, all the fruits you will be able to get there, isn't it? So all the fruits, oranges, mangoes, which our son likes very much, and grapes, all the items I have written in this. And finally, when you go to vegetable market, you can get onions, tomatoes, all the vegetables from that. So this huge list of more than 50 items is organized into 4 small lists, isn't it? Under certain headings. This is how we can make our work easy, and here there is no chance of forgetting things at all. Then husband says, yeah, it's a good idea. I'll follow this next time, and at least in this lockdown period, I'll be safe. And he laughs. She also laughs. Both wife and husband continues their happy life. Okay, children, are you clear with the story? Did you understand the story? What are the concepts that we discussed in this story? Here we discussed about how do we record data and organize data. In the last but one pick, husband is writing down the provisions, items. It is nothing but recording. And in the last but one pick, wife is arranging the items into small under certain headings, small groups, isn't it? She is organizing it. So this is how we can record and organize data. Not only when we go to vegetable market or anywhere, even small kids, when they play, see how nicely they play, and they throw all the toys like this. And the elders have to organize them properly. When you look at this picture, you can see very clearly all the cars are organized at one place, all the trains, isn't it, blocks, they are all similar things, same things are kept at one place, very nicely organized. Not only playing, children, in our day-to-day life also, everything is organized. After this class, when you go to your kitchen, you can see all the utensils like glasses, spoons, plates, bowls, everything is organized in its place very neatly. And when you look at your almara, the clothes are very well organized. And in the supermarkets, vegetables are organized. In stand, chappal stand, all the shoes, chappal are organized. And try to recollect your school library, children. In the school library also, all the books are very well organized in the shelves with certain titles so that you can take the book easily whichever you want to, and you can read and enjoy. Isn't it? Do you enjoy reading books? Yeah, children. Not only our day-to-day life, entire nature is organized. Days and nights are organized. Seasons are organized. When you look at my face, my ears, eyes, nose, all the parts are organized on my face, isn't it? When this nose comes here, would you like to look at me? Will I look beautiful? I won't, isn't it? So not only our physical appearance, children, even our thoughts we need to organize to become a good person. So I request you all to be organized and be recognized by everyone in the universe. Okay, children? Now you got little understanding about recording and organizing and day-to-day life applications we have seen. Before we start the next concept in statistics, let me make you all familiar with some keywords of statistics. Look at the board. Yeah, some keywords we will discuss. To discuss those keywords, I'll consider marks obtained by 10 students of 8th class in mathematics out of 20. Okay, 10, 15, 18, 20, 11, 18, 10, 7, 19, 20. Okay, so these are the marks obtained by 10 students of 8th class students. And these marks which I collected is called data. We discussed in the beginning. Data is information which is in the form of numbers. And these numbers in the data are called observations. What are they called? Observations. They are also called as entries or items, and most popularly used word is observations. Okay, and if you look at this data, you can see 1 mark 10 is obtained by 2 students, 10 and 10. 2 different students secured 10 marks, isn't it? So 10 marks, 2 students secured, and 20 also 2 students, and 15 only 1 student, isn't it? So here every observation is occurring certain number of times. This repetition of the observation in statistics is called frequency. Number of times, what do we call it as? Frequency. Number of times an observation repeats in the given data is called frequency. And just now we have seen organizing data. That organizing data in statistics is nothing but preparation of frequency distribution tables. Now we will see how do we prepare frequency distribution tables. Okay, children, from that time I'm only continuously talking, isn't it? And you're all just listening to me. Now I would like to, I want you to participate and do something. Let me tell you. Now I want some data to prepare frequency distribution table. I told you what is frequency, isn't it? And this is the table how we prepare. Now we will see in detail how do we prepare frequency distribution table. And before that, every day when you are watching this TSAT online classes, you have online chat, isn't it? You are all chatting with your friends. Instead of chatting with your friends, now what you have to do is you have to send an SMS to me. On what? Look at this slide. I would like to conduct SMS poll on the lockdown. Now we are all under lockdown. Yes or no? We are all under lockdown. And now I am giving you 3 options. One is complete lockdown. B, option A is for complete lockdown. B, partial lockdown. And C, for remove lockdown. Suppose if you support partial lockdown, you have to type B and send it to me. And one more thing, children, I will note down only first 20 observations. So be fast and start sending. I'll note it down on the board. Okay, ready? Okay. Okay. Okay, A, right, B, A, C, A, B, A, B, A, C, A, I think 3 plus 2, 5. Yeah. So these are the SMSs you have sent. So how many SMSs I have written? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 4. 5 fours are 20 I have written. Right. Now stop sending SMS. Now concentrate here. Now we will see how to prepare frequency distribution table for this recorded data. Yeah. Here we have the first 20 SMSs sent by you all students. And this is called raw data. What is this data? Raw data. It is not yet cooked. We have to cook it, wash it, cut it and cook a delicious food now. Okay, right. So I have 20 observations and these observations are nothing but options. So to prepare the table, first we keep the heading options and the second heading is tally marks. Tally marks. Yeah, these tally marks are to count the number of observations. How many observations are there in the data? That we will for one observation, one tally mark we will keep here. Okay. So what are the different options? We have 3 options now: A, B, C. Now look at this raw data. First option is A. So round it off, or you can cut it also. That is your wish. Cut it and put a tally mark opposite to option A. Then next one is B. So opposite to option B, under tally marks, one slanting line I have drawn. And next one is also A, under tally marks opposite to A. Next one more A, and this is C, A, and one more A. Here after 4 tally marks, we keep after 4 tally marks, 5th one we have to cross those 4 to make a bunch of 5. It helps us in counting. Okay. Then B. A, B, A, one more bunch of 5. A, C, A, and A. So here tally marks over. Now frequency. Next heading is frequency. So now look at this tally marks and count. Bunch of 5 now. So 5, 10, 15. And how many B's do we have? Only 3. And C is 2. Total 20. Total we have 20 SMSs, isn't it? So this is called frequency distribution table. What is it called? Frequency distribution table. So this is how we organized the unorganized data. So this is unorganized or raw data. We organized this data, and this organized data is called frequency distribution table. Are you all clear, children? Able to understand? I hope you are able to understand. So this is how we prepare frequency distribution table. Not only letters A, B, C, D. You can take marks secured by 20 students of your own class, and you can find out, you can convert that data into frequency distribution table. Next. Yeah. Children, this organizing we have seen so far. This organized data can be represented in pictorial form also. Here I would like to share one thing. When I was, as I told you in the story in the beginning, when husband was writing the items and organized by the wife, even my son at home, he has a habit of writing whatever he wants his father to get from the market. So what he will do, he'll write mango. He is very much fond of mangoes. He likes mangoes. So mangoes, and he draws a picture of mango like this. And he writes grapes and draws a picture of grapes like this. So whatever he wants, even any cool drink or energy drink, that also he will draw a box and write something on that box. So that is how he tries to represent whatever he wants in the form of a picture. And when I give that list to my husband, sometimes he won't be able to understand the handwriting, but just by looking at the pictures, he can easily understand that our son wants mangoes, grapes, etc. It is one of the easiest way to understand the data, isn't it? So now we will see representation of data in the form of picture for better understanding. We have seen raw data, which is very huge, isn't it? And we converted that into frequency distribution table, and the table also simple, but we can represent this data in a more simpler way using diagrams. And before we go to representation of data, I would like to add one more point here. In the song we have seen, statistics was telling us that I am useful in collection, classification and interpretation, isn't it? So here I collected the SMSs sent by you students, and then I organized this data, that is classification is done, collection over and classification over. Now we have to interpret this data, isn't it? So what is this interpretation? When you look at this table, very easily you can tell that more number of students, that is 15 students, have polled for complete lockdown. I know children, you are all very intelligent. If we are at home, then only we will be safe. That's why you have sent more SMSs for complete lockdown, isn't it? And very few voted for remove lockdown. Very few, that's only 2. So as it is very small data, we are easily we are able to interpret data very easily. If you have a very large data of some hundreds and thousands of observations are there, in those cases it is very, very useful. Okay, children. Now let's see, like a small kid, how he did. In the same way, we try to represent this data in the form of pictures. Okay, there are 4 ways of representing data. The first one is, look at this slide children, the first one is pictograph. We represent data in the form of pictures here. And second one is bar graphs, third one is double bar graphs, and fourth one and the last one is pie chart. We will see all this one at a time. For this frequency distribution table, we draw the pictograph. Pictograph represents data in the form of pictures or the objects. So here, option A, we have its frequency is 15, right? So here, I would like to take option A, and here I'll draw lock. I'll use the symbol of lock. So here, 1 lock, let me take 1 lock is equal to 2 SMSs. Okay, I would like to identify 1 lock is equal to 2 SMSs. So here, if you draw lock, if you have to draw lock, 15 are there now. 15 is not a multiple of 2. So you have to take 14, which is nearer to it. 2 7 times 14. So we need to draw how many locks here? 7 locks. And so on, 7. 7 2s are 14 over. But one more is there now. For that we need to draw half a lock. So this is how we can represent data in the form of pictures. Look at this slide, children. Here I have a pictograph for some other data, which is for donuts. It's a sweet item which we can make at home. Different types of sprinkles, custard and all are there. So here 16. Here also 2 donuts are represented by one picture. 16 is multiple of 2. 2 8s are 16. So 8 pictures are drawn. 20, 10 pictures are drawn. 15, 7 and a half. Are you all clear, children? We are representing this frequency distribution table in the form of pictures, which is known as pictograph. If you observe here, it is taking more time to draw the pictures. That's why, representing half, 1/4, 3/4 is very difficult using these pictures. Approximately we can draw, but not exactly. So that is why we see the next representation, which is called bar graphs. And if you look at this slide, bar graphs are drawn on graph papers, and these bar graphs you can draw on a graph paper. On a graph paper you have to draw x-axis and y-axis. Horizontal line is called x-axis, vertical line is called y-axis. So here in the slide you can see this horizontal line is called x-axis, vertical line is called y-axis, and this is the information, some information collected for nicest fruit, who like the fruit, which fruit very much. So here fruits are taken on x-axis, and frequency is taken on y-axis, and the bars of same width of different heights or lengths are drawn here. So here this length of the bar is representing the frequency of that particular observation. So if you see this bar is very long, its height is more, means more number of students like this fruit, and very less number of students like this grapes. And here is one more bar graph, and you know, children, these bar graphs can also be drawn horizontally. So this horizontal bar graph is regarding the favorite color. So most of the students like violet color, and very few students like yellow color. So this is how we can draw bar graphs and interpret the bar graphs. And the next representation is double bar graphs, and this is used to draw data side by side, 2 observations of the data side by side, and this double bar graph is drawn to compare 2 types of related data. The data must be related, and these can also be drawn on the graph paper. And here we have 2 examples. Look at this second one. Here students are taken on x-axis, and the marks scored by the students are taken on y-axis. That is the frequency of the data. And this is the graph drawn for the marks scored by the same student before preparation and after preparation. They have written a test on fractions which is conducted before preparation and after preparation. And this yellow color bar is representing before preparation, and the green one is representing after preparation. Okay. So here which one is longer when you look at this bar graph? After preparation or before preparation? Obviously, after preparation, students have written very well and scored good marks, isn't it? And the last one is pie chart. This pie chart represents the data in the form of a circle, and it represents each item as portion of the circle. Here we have some data, expenses and amount, and these expenses and amount are given here to draw the pie chart. Pie chart is also known as circular chart. To draw this pie chart, we need compass and protractor. What do we need? Compass and protractor. And before that, we have to prepare the table for the angle. We need to find angle here. So here we have expenses and amount. Expenses and amount. Towards rent, the family is spending some 7,000 rupees, and all others are given like yeah, look at this. 7,000 towards rent, 3,000 towards groceries, transport 800, current 300, school fee 2,000, savings 900, and total of these all expenditure is 15,000. And here we need an angle to draw the sectors of the circle. To calculate that angle of the sector, we have a formula. So what is that formula? Rent for the first one, rent by total amount into 360 degrees, as angle at the center is 360 degrees. Rent by total amount into 360 degrees. Now let us try to find out for this first one the angle of the sector. 7,000 by total 15,000 into 360. 3 zeros, 3 zeros, 15 ones, 15 24s. How much is this? 168 degrees. 168 degrees. So similarly for 3,000, 800, 300, 2,000, 1,900, for all the items I calculated the angle. So it is 72 degrees, 19.2 degrees, 7.2 degrees, 48 degrees, 45.6. And if you add all these angles, we must get 360 degrees, because angle at the center of circle is 360 degrees. And after the preparation of this table, we can draw the pie chart. Let me show you how to draw the pie chart. Yeah. On a white paper, first you draw a circle of some radius. Okay. Yeah. On a white paper, take some radius and draw a circle of some radius. Okay. Then mark the center of the circle O and a point A on the circle. Then using scale, join this OA using scale. Now what is the first angle that we have? 168 degrees, right? So now mark the angle 168, keeping protractor like this, 168. What kind of angle is this, children? 168 is obtuse, right? So draw a line like this. So this sector, portion of this sector is representing what? Rent, isn't it? Rent. Towards rent, the amount spent by the family is represented by this portion of the sector. And the complete picture looks like this. Look at this slide, children. Pie chart, complete pie chart. It looks like this. So here rent is represented by violet color, groceries, transport, current, school fee and savings. So here the family is spending more amount on rent and very less amount on current. I think they do not have many electronic goods, it seems. So here this is how we can draw the pie chart and represent the data in the form of a picture, which is also known as circular chart. And we can also interpret this chart. So this is how we can represent data in the form of pictures. What are they? Pictograph, bar graph, double bar graph and pie chart. Okay. Right. Now it's time for summer project, children. Please note it down in your notebook. Collect the monthly expenditure of your family on the following items from your parents. You have to collect monthly expenditure of your family on the following items from your parents. Items and the expenditure. What are the items you have to collect? Milk, vegetables, fruits, medicines and rice. Okay. Per day, suppose you are spending 20 rupees on milk, you need to calculate for month. So you have to multiply it with 30. 30 into 20 is equal to 600. So note down that 600 under the heading expenditure. And similarly for the vegetables, fruits, medicines, etc. you have to collect. And then draw the pictograph for the data that you have collected. Just now I explained how to draw the pictograph. For the data collected, what do you have to do? you have to draw the pictograph. Then draw bar graph taking items on x-axis and amount on y-axis. All the items you have to take on x-axis and the amount, which is nothing but the frequency, on y-axis. Then interpret the bar graph. Okay children, are you clear with this first question? Now the second one. Second one is you need to play snake and ladder. You all know snake and ladder, isn't it? This is snake and ladder. You need to play snake and ladder. You can see here very clearly some ladders, snakes are there. This is in Telugu known as Vaikuntapali. Can you see the ladders and the snakes, isn't it? So you have to play this game how many times? 3 times with one of your family member. Not only just playing children. Here you need to write down the number of items, that number of times you climb the ladder and the number of times the snake bite you in this form, tabular form. Game 1, how many times you climb the ladder and how many times the snake bite you. Okay, 3 different games and 3 different data you will get, right? So after collecting this data, you need to draw double bar graph taking number of games on x-axis and frequency of climbing ladder or snake bite on the y-axis. Okay, you need to draw double bar graph here. After you draw the double bar graph, you have to interpret the data. And finally, why don't you try to write the skill that you have learned from this game? What is the moral or the skill that you have learned from this game? You write in 1 or 2 sentences. Okay children, so in this session we learnt data and its types, recording and organizing data, frequency distribution table preparation, and also representation of data. I hope you have understood very well, and in the next session of statistics, I'll come with some more topics, interesting topics for you all. For now, that's all children, and I thank Telangana government, TSAT, and TSWREIS and our secretary, and also I thank you all children for listening to me. Thank you very much children. We'll continue the same topic with some more concepts in the next session at the same time. Be tuned. Bye.